Previously on Eden Zero, Klein, seemingly killed by Dead End Crow, and because she was the only one allowing the team of Holy, Laguna, and Jin to use their ether gear within Dead End Crow's massive body, that tells them something happened. While Jin would normally go to his sister's aid, he's the only one with any actual combat skill because of his cyborg body. And so Laguna went out to go check on Klein in place of Jin. And this is a show of trust because Klein feels that Holy is someone lonely who really needs help. So as Holy and Jin made their way further in, Holy discovered something shocking. Here, one of the members of the Oratian says Interstellar, seemingly inside the body of Dead End Crow. What does this mean? Not to mention Pino also found that somehow Ziggy was using a backdoor program to access Pino, which is why Ziggy knew of their plan. This deeply hurt Pino to know that she was inadvertently harming her friends, and she's determined to make up for it because, while she was accessed by Ziggy, Pino discovered something by accessing Ziggy's file. What has Pino discovered and how will it turn the tide of battle? Join me as I find out that and many more secrets, won't you? Eden Zero. Aw, Klein looking so cute. I do miss younger Klein though. I'm not saying that her assets are bad, it's just I like the difference in body type is all. Boom! Laguna comes rocketing out of Dead End Crow's thigh? Arm? Not sure where he is. But he's coming out of Dead End Crow in one of the Eden Zero jump ship. Laguna calls out, Klein, this is Laguna. What happened? Respond! Respond! And as Dead End Crow looms over the Eden Zero, Hermit calls out, Laguna, this is Hermit. Klein's been shot down by Crow. Laguna says, what? Is she okay? Hermit responds, we don't know. I'm setting coordinates for her crash site. Go and rescue her. Laguna says, copy that. And as Laguna goes racing down to check on Klein, Hermit questions, did you manage to save Holy? Laguna responds, she and Jin should be on their way to Crow's power source. Meanwhile, inside Crow, fighting through the horde seems to be taking its toll on Jin's body, as you can see smoke coming from one of his arms. He says, no. My joints are giving out. Guess I can only do so much without ether. Meanwhile, with Holy confronting Kerr, who I knew someone had to be a traitor. There's always a traitor amongst any organized version of the Eurasian says, or at least one who doesn't quite mesh with the group. Holy says, Kerr? What are you doing here? And with a look of relief, she says, it doesn't matter. This is great. Help me find Crow's power source and... But before she can finish her sentence, Kerr gives a wry smile, points his finger at Holy, and fires. Oof! It pierces her side, her midsection. Might have lost her pancreas. Oh no, I don't know that much about human anatomy. Naturally, Holy is shocked. She says, what? Why? As she doubles over from the pain and shock, Kerr with a sinister grin says, I am the power source. Or maybe I should say, I am Dead End Crow's main body. So he was Dead End Crow this entire time. I figured he had to have like a more main body if he did all those terrible things to Holy and her sister. But I'm still waiting on like that flashback. I don't need to see the more gruesome details, but like some of what Holy says is just like he had to have like a smaller body at the time. Holy on the ground is panting and huffing, but she has a intense look in her eyes. Kira coldly responds, poor girl. If you had never made it this far, you wouldn't have had to find out. Holy struggles on the ground, coughing and hacking, but she does manage to get out the words, what do you mean? I think she's holding her wound. Kira simply responds, balance. This universe needs good and evil, and I am good and evil. Oh shit. Oh no, he's one of those. Perfectly balanced, as all things should be. It is the destruction of that Dead End Crow reeks across the galaxy that makes it necessary for the Interstellar Union Army, for people to put their trust in us to stop him. Something like that. Holy has this even more intense, shocked, and angry look in her eyes. And as Kier slowly steps forward towards her, he says, does that make sense? For the Interstellar Union Army to shine brighter, galactic darkness is essential. Fucking knew it. I knew it. Ah, he's one of those. And you see the battle going on in space. So was he never aboard his ship? Even when it arrived in the outer space of Lendard? Long before you were appointed one of the Eurasian says interstellar, I was creating all kinds of darkness, and then eliminating it myself to make us shine. He created the problems, and thus the good guys were made to seem even more benevolent and bright. Holy questions. You created darkness? Kir responds, tell me, what is the purpose of our existence? To save the universe? Then we need an evil to save it from, no? Holy seems to have a shocking realization. Oh shit. No way. Kir says, I gave Draken and Nero their power, and waited for the darkness to grow denser. Then I erased it, thus bringing us closer to the light. God, he was responsible for two of the biggest villains in the series? What? That's twisted. Holy is obviously pissed to shit, and she says, I don't understand what you're saying. And Kira responds, of all my creation, Dead End Crow is my greatest masterpiece. His darkness is dense, deep, and so deep and twisted. I always knew you would be the one to defeat him someday, so that we can shine. Wow, that is fucked up. That brings into question everything the Interstellar Union Army has done from day one. No, if anybody finds out about this, the whole organization disbanded, brought to his knees completely. Holy is still on the ground, pissed. Kier is still having that sickened smile like, you must see the brilliance of this. He says, but that day is not today. I will not allow you to alter my plans. Man, Holy struggles to her feet. What? How can we risk our lives to fight these evils and you created them? Kier responds, not all of them. Ziggy and Acnoella were villains in their own right, and all I had to do was give Elsie and Nox bad names to make them into villains. Oh, so that's why Elsie has such a bad reputation, as well as Nox. Not just because she's leading a cult. He spread lies and misinformation. Probably why Ziggy is seen as a villain. Shiki is seen as a villain as well. Says that's what makes Crow a real masterpiece. And Holy just screeches, were you behind Bloody Atmos Day 2? Well, now we switched over to Kaede Cosmos Outer Space. I still can never get used to the way the space in the Kaede Cosmos looks. Just the checkered thing is really off-putting, honestly. Feather gets in contact with Eraser and says, Eraser, there's something wrong with my Eye of Venus. Eraser kind of dismisses her and says, sorry, but save any whining for later. But Feather says, I cannot accurately determine someone's location. Eraser responds, have Kir fix it then. All I can do is erase stuff. But Feather says, I'm speaking over a channel that excludes Kir. Uh-oh. Eraser questions this, but Feather explains, Kir's brain class ship is completely unmanned, as far as my eye can see. Eraser is taken aback by that. I figured. I knew it. I was wondering about that. Not to mention, we've only ever seen Kir over a monitor. We've seen everybody else in person to some degree, but never Kir. God, there were so many suspicious little things about Kir over the course of this, but I was just like, I might be wrong about that. I don't know, there's a vibe this dude's giving off, but I don't know. Sure enough, man, I should have gone with my gut when it came to this guy. Back with Kir and Holy, he says, Bloody Atmos Day. That was 13 years ago. Holy responds, the planet Swan, Yukino Cosmos. Yukino? Uh-oh. My sister and I were there. So I guess this is kind of like Yukino, an angel from Fairy Tale, whereas those sisters managed to reunite and actually have a relationship. Not so much with these sisters. My sister and I were there. Oh, now we get in the flashback. Oh boy, here it comes. Like a whole happy crowd of people. That means Mashima's about to get into those cruel tendencies again. Holy explains, it was a holiday to honor Atmos, the savior of our planet. An enormous crowd of people had gathered to celebrate. And boom, a giant foot comes crashing down, crushing several people. Holy explains, then suddenly a mysterious titan appeared. Like Attack on Titan just appeared out of nowhere. The life squishing, building burning, maniacally laughing devil dead and crow. Over 1 million dead. The most deadly act of terrorism in the Yukino cosmos. And it's not too bad. Mashima kind of blurred out the bodies, but they're bloody stains on the ground, essentially. And you see Holy's sister reaching out for her, the little child, and she's just crushed under rubble as Holy reaches out for her. In present day, Holy is welling up with tears. He says, my sister, Sarah, she was only 8 years old. She dreamed of being a champion of justice. She was such a good kid. And Kier doesn't respond. Holy says, then Crow took the women who survived and hung them up in the town square for his sick entertainment. They all died, one after the other, except for me. And she was young, too. I don't know how he managed that, being that big. I still don't know how he managed that big. And Kier, he simply smiles. Yes, that's when the story was established. You would be the light to eventually defeat Crow. It's like, he's just like, yes, that was the perfect narrative. I'm like, holy shit, this guy is fucked up. This guy is fucked up. That is so fucked up. And Holy stomps her foot, saying, what is wrong with you? Why did you have to attack Swan? And Kira says, oh, you're still not getting this. It doesn't matter where. If evil is created somewhere, light will always be created with it. He was trying to create a hero to battle the darkness. Holy shit, that was a day when darkness was born. Yes, a day seeds were sown to make us shine brighter. He was trying to create a hero. You create a catastrophic event. Eventually a hero would rise in response to that, whether for revenge and a sense of justice or whatever. It didn't matter who did it, just as long as it happened. Create enough tragedy and someone would eventually rise to stop it. That is so fucked. And Holy shakingly says, and Sarah gave her life for that deranged idea? 1 million innocent people died for that? And Kira responds, how many times must I repeat myself? For us to be good, there must also be evil. And Holy shouts, but good people don't create it. And Kira just says matter-of-factly, yes, it is why I am good and evil. Like, he just doesn't get it. Like, he is completely broken. Just, holy shit. And Holy just shouts, you are only evil, and socks him right across the face. And I can't blame her. It's just like, the dude is delusional. Holy crap. That is some really fucked up delusion. It'd be one thing if he was just a bad guy in disguise. I thought that's what this was, but that's really messed up. The fact that he believes he's so right about this. And Kira, he just goes flying from that hit, like damn. But he hits the wall and he just looks up at Holy, not even seeming to respond to it. Holy shouts, you lied to your allies. You created evil. You don't give a damn about human life. And as Kira gets up, he says, without evil, we would have no reason to exist. Holy responds, we? Would you please stop associating me with you? A creature as vile as you has no right to offer prayers to the stars. But Kira simply smiles. And how will you stop me without your ether gear? But, ether gear's back on! As Holy's power starts to amp back up, much to Kira's shock, as we see Laguna helping climb to her feet so that she can continue on using her ability. Holy gives a smile. Thank goodness, Jin's sister is alive. And Holy goes in to try to strike at Kira, but he manages to block it. And as Holy and Kira do battle, Hermit calls out, Crow's mobility is down. Get out of there now. This is our chance to fire the main cannon. End of chapter. Dude, I gotta tell you, I love this. I love this reveal. Because I love that he's not just a mwahaha mustache twirling villain. It's like, no, he's deranged. He's delusional. He has visions of grandeur. It's just like, no, you have to create evil. That way there's heroes to rise to the occasion. Like, evil doesn't need your help, dude. Evil does not need your help being created. Evil will come out of the woodwork. That's right. Because now that I think about it, there was always that thing that Dragon Joe had found something that had given him power, and then Nero had those dice that kind of consumed him and helped him get his power. And that was kind of weird, but I didn't question it at the time. Like, they were just bestowed these things, because it's just like, oh, Draken was just a DJ, and Nero was just kind of some dude. But then they gained these things, this power out of nowhere, and they rose to prominence over time. It makes so much sense that it's just like, oh no, I did that. But I also love the fact that he's just like, oh no. Ziggy, Aknoella, I got nothing to do with that. They're just evil. they're just evil. I also love the fact that Feather, because during the start of this arc, she was kind of played a little bit, and she wasn't shown really. She was looking kind of musty for a second there, but she got maximum props on the fact that she was just like, okay, something's up. Brain's not in his ship. He showed up here, but he's not in his ship. That's suspicious. And I love that she's just like, nah. Eraser, something's up. Like, this really does help to kind of cap things off to a certain degree with most of the Eraser says Interstellar. Because Justice is off doing his own thing. Jaguar's still very much dead. Kira and Holy are battling it out. And Feather and Eraser are up in space helping, fight dragons. So everyone's doing something at this point. I gotta love that. I love that. It was like, okay, all the Eurasia says Interstellar are here. What about the Eurasia says Galactica? It's just like, oh, gang's all here. And it turns out one of them was behind it. And I love it because it's a great juxtaposition to Jaguar, who I still feel was very much underplayed. The fact that he was a previous member of the Eurasia says Galactica, and then he was turned to the Erasia says Interstellar. I'm just like, I would have loved to know more about that story. Out of a lot of the heroes and villains that we've gotten to know over the course of this series, Nero and Jaguar, the most underdeveloped, honestly, in my opinion. I mean, Eraser and Feather to a certain degree, but it doesn't seem like the story really has too much to really do for them. But whereas Jaguar turns to good, it's honestly even more work than just a conversion to good or evil. It's just Kira thinks he's the ultimate good, and he is not. He's just evil. And he's so delusional he can't even see it. Villains like that are a lot more compelling than just straight out villains. We've had plenty of those in this series. This? Damn. I'm still just taken aback by that. Just, wow. And I was waiting for that flashback too. I have been wondering though, because I've been wondering if at one point would Holy fully join the Eden Zero. And I could see her doing that, knowing that what she's been working with has all been a machination of Cure. I could see her not wanting to associate with the Interstellar Union Army after this. Maybe join the Eden Zero and maybe become the new witch. Just saying, it's a possibility. No one will ever completely replace Witch. Like, no. But Holy has been growing on me all over the course of all of this, and this woman's been through some shit. This woman has been through some shit. But tell me your thoughts in the comment section below. Are you with me on the fact that you love the direction with Cure? That you're glad that he's not just a villain? Or do you feel that it's not really your cup of tea? I'm interested to hear why. So let me know in the comments. Remember to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for notification. And until next time, I've been Duuz-Diz-Din, and I hope to see you in the next video. Till then, bye-bye.